Hello, today I'm excited to have with me Joe Graham. Joe has been a sales coach for 3 years, but he's been in sales for over 20, and he helps people chase their dreams and fund their dreams and knows how to do sales. Um, as we talked about in the call, waking up to be able to pursue the dreams that God's put in your heart is invigorating. But when we get stuck in our dreams and they don't go any farther than dreams, it can be frustrating and discouraging. So I brought Joe on the show today to help guide us through those pitfalls and the restraints that keep us from our dreams to help them make a reality. Joe, welcome to Redeeming Business Today podcast. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, David. No, I appreciate being here, and thank you for Richard Kaufman for kind of getting us that connection.
Yep, very good. So, Joe, what is one way you believe we can honor God in our business that others may not know about?
Um, it's simple, but it's very crazy. Most people don't do it. Be authentic, be real, and keep your word. Because there's so many in the sales space, in the coaching space, in life in general. They say one thing but do another. But I mean,
Sure.
as Christians, as people that want to love God and help people, we need to keep that as the focus and do what you say.
Very good. Very well put. Very well put. Um, so take 3 to 4 minutes and tell us your background. How'd you get into sales, and now what's led you into sales coaching?
Sure. Well, I fell into sales. I grew up in the Midwest and it wasn't even a thought in my head. I was working for a company called Pfizer. I was going to college. I was in their management program. I was thinking, when you grow up in the Midwest, you're supposed to get married, find the wife, which I did in my youth group, which is amazing. And like you just work for that one company. Well, that didn't happen. They downsized and the only thing available was sales. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take this just in case until I find something else. But then I fell in love with sales. Now, I wasn't perfect or great at it in the beginning. In fact, the first time I did a presentation, I literally told the guy I can't do this. And he goes, I like Home Depot because I was selling for Home Depot, roofing, window, siding. I'm going to buy anyway. You can do the flip chart, whatever. And I'm like, oh, crap, it's not about me. But then I found that I shifted my whole mindset with it from selling you and get you to buy something to just meeting your needs and helping you solve a problem. And then over the past 20 years, I've done in home sales, I've done B2B, B2C. I've won multiple awards for a Fortune 50 company and a Fortune 100 company, President Circles, and all by helping people instead of trying to take from them. So my approach is more Ziegler than it is like some of maybe the new sales trainers. Help as many people as possible, and it will come back to you. It's the same with biblical principles we talk about all the time. What you sow, you reap. If you treat someone well, it's going to come back and it's going to help them. And I think that's been the biggest issue I've seen in that sales realm or sales coaching is they're trying to teach you tricks or trades or David, if you say it this way, I can get you to do this. In reality, David, you have a problem, right? Okay, cool. What is your biggest need? Oh, wait, I can help you with this problem. Great. Oh, wait, I can't. I'm going to refer you to Richard. And then just treating it that way has made me fall in love with sales and helping people to where now I really help people wake up to a life they love living. Sales coaching is kind of my hook to get them in, but in reality, I'm helping them figure out what do you want to do, what's your end goal, and how can we help other people so you can get there.
That's cool. That's good. I like the principle of serving others, and basically, yeah, how can we help you get what you want? Because in the end, that's what sales is for. Versus if you sell them something they don't like, they're going to regret it, and they're like, I don't want him anymore. So yes, very good. And so you may have already answered that question. I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you believe sets you apart as a sales coach from other sales coaches?
I don't look at it as sales. I look at it as helping people. I don't look at it as a I win, you lose approach, which in most sales organizations, most sales groups, we're going to go win this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And in reality, I look at being as authentic as possible, being the person to give first, which in the end actually makes me win more because not only do you buy from me, but now you know that you can trust me. And now you're not just going to buy one time and run off. I'm going to develop a relationship with you. So, like in B2B sales, a lot of times you'll see someone come in that's really good and they'll get a couple first sales, but they didn't take care of the customer and that customer will never buy from them again. The magic is sometimes you give a little bit in the beginning and maybe you give them a little bit better deal so that they keep buying from you because that law of compounding interest and building, but then you get into what you would call your referral network. So because I took care of you, David, now you will refer me to Richard and Tim and Bob and Sally and whoever it is that you know, saying you can trust Joe because he does what he says. That's the difference on what I teach people compared to I can teach you all the tricks. I've been there, I've done that. I've tried them and I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. Like I'm not gonna go, hey, if you buy today, it's this price because in my head that doesn't make sense. But if I go and say, hey, by the way, David, we're doing this stuff right now. They're doing a 10% off. I'm telling you right up front because I don't like gimmicks and games. I want to make sure I meet your need and take care of you. Now, one, I took away the gimmick in the game. Two, I already told you you're getting a discount, but there's no strings attached to the discount. And I know there's some salespeople listening go, no, that's wrong. You can't do it. I don't manipulate people. I help people, and that's what sets me apart. And the proof is, like I said, I have 4 President's Circle Awards for a Fortune 100 company. I've done multiple big deals. We're talking like average deal that I deal with 250,000. Some of them are over 500,000 for the life of the contract. So it's just kind of one of those things of I want to make sure you're taken care of first and it comes back. That's I would say that's what sets me apart, but I think that's really the true genuineness of business and sales. You fix their problem, they pay you. That's how this works. If you don't fix their problem, you don't get paid.
Sure. Yep. And I read a book. I forget what the title was, but they basically said, don't treat your customers as if they're the last customer. Treat them like you want them to come back, um,
Mhm.
and they will. And yes, very
Well,
good.
I think it comes down to this because there's so many times people get it caught. They watch a movie on TV like Wolf of Wall Street, or they'll watch Boiler Room, and all they say all these great, cool things, and it's cool, and you can try that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of chargebacks because those people get in an emotional state to buy, but then they have what we call buyer's remorse. Whereas if I take care of you, I tell you all the issues that could come up with it, I give you all the information you need. Now we have trust. People like because buy from you because they like you, they trust you, and they believe in your service. If
Yep.
I can build that trust and I'm giving you this stuff, even not the great points, like, hey, my product does this, but this product might be a little bit better fit for you. Wait a minute, why is he saying that? Because I know what I can give you, but I'm not trying to get a fast one on you or manipulate you. And I think that is refreshing in business because, again, in this world, there's a lot of cutthroat type of things out there, especially in sales coaching or coaching in general.
Yep. Looking out for the other person. Absolutely. Sure. Excuse me. When you work with people on their sales pitch and all that, what are some common mistakes that they make that you like right off the bat? Hey, you probably shouldn't do that. It's not going to go end well for you.
They drop their price. That's always the first thing. They always think the problem is price. 9 times out of the 10, when someone says no, price is a deflection because they don't want to tell you what's really bugging them or what's really not there. I look for that. I want you to give me an objection. I want you to give me a rebuttal or something. So if you say price, I'll be like, cool, David, I understand. Price outside of this, with what I'm offering you, does it meet your need? Or if I'm selling you coaching, with what I'm offering you, do you see yourself getting better if you do these steps? Why am I doing that? Because everyone says it's price, but it's never price. Price is a made up number. I have an iPhone. I paid $1,000 for it. My wife hates iPhones. She wouldn't pay $1 for it, but she has a Samsung she loves. She'd pay $1,000 for it. I pay $1,000 for it because she loves it. I could care less. I don't care. But you know what I mean? It's like it's the value that you bring. The second one is they're not confident in what they're selling you. They don't feel as comfortable about so like, hey David, I think this might work for you. There's no confidence, there's no security, there's no this will work for you because in sales there's that balance of cocky and confident. So the two things that I find the most, one, don't just drop your pants. That's a tool, that's a thing from the trade. Don't just, drop the price all the time because now you just devalued what you're doing. And second, make sure what you're selling you believe in. If you believe in it, if this will really help someone, I have no problem selling it to you. If I don't believe it won't work for you, I can't sell it. I won't. I've left jobs before. Like I left, I was doing oil and gas investments. I walked away from a very good, high paying sales job because I found that the wells weren't producing and my integrity is more important than a paycheck. Did I have to work harder and get a second job and do extra things for a little bit? Yes. But then it qualified me to open up be doing other sales and doing what I am now because Building your brand, building your culture, building who you are is very hard. And if you make a mistake, it can cut it very quickly. So you always have to stand on your integrity. For me personally, your integrity, your word, and how you help people and show up for them is more important.
Okay, good. So what if you find yourself selling something that you believe in, but maybe you're not confident in yourself as a salesperson? What can you do to strengthen that? You know what I'm saying? You like your product, but you don't know how to describe it. I don't know.
Mhm. A couple things. If you're at a company and you're working for a company, there's other people that are successful. Humble yourself. Go talk to them. David, why are you successful at doing this? What is it that you're doing that's making you get them to say yes? Because I'm not. Two, maybe you need to hire a coach. But before you hire a coach, and here's the funny thing: I'm a coach. But I'm going to tell you before you hire a coach, what books have you read on sales? What podcasts have you listened to on sales? Who have you tried to learn from, or what courses have you taken? Because as a coach, I can only take you from where you're at to where you need to go. And if you've not done anything, I might be like, hey, David, cool. You know what? You're not ready for me to coach you yet. I have 3 books I need you to read first. And again, now I'm blowing your mind because most coaches would be like, oh, yeah, come join my program. I'll get you all set up. I'm like, no, you need to be ready to be able to learn, but I'm not teaching basics. I'm not teaching you make the phone call, set your schedule, do that. I can, but that's not really what I'm doing.
Yes.
A coach, in my perspective, is to take the skills, wisdom, and knowledge you have and enhance it and help you get better. So if you're at like what sounds like an entry level salesperson, you need to do the reps. You need to do the work. That would be the second thing. Say, okay, cool, David. You're not getting there, but how many people are you talking to a day? How many people can you talk to? So if you're not getting the sales you need right now, there's 2 things you can do: either improve your pitch or improve your dials, your door knocks, or your touches, however you talk to your prospect. And when you get into a conversation, then you get better because now when they throw you a curveball, you know how to respond because you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable and asking uncomfortable questions. But first, I need to know if you understand the basics. Then we can kind of go into more enhanced ways to do it better.
Okay. Do you have a book or two that you would recommend somebody who's beginner or intermediate
Mhm.
before you advance
Yeah,
them?
100%. 2 books come to mind. One is The Go Giver by Bob Berg. That book is more of a parable type of thing, which would relate really well to a lot of people there with the Christian faith because Jesus tell you in parables. But it's just a good story and a good foundation. It's about this thick. The other book would be by Jeb Blunt called Fanatical Prospecting. It's thicker, but it talks about social selling. It talks about in person, face to face, networking, the whole gambit, and what you have to do to be successful. Because the reason most people suck at sales or aren't good is they don't have a big enough pipeline. Your pipeline is your blood. And what I mean by pipeline is opportunities that you're working that could close. So a lot of times people get 1 or 2 and they get excited about it and they don't close. Well, now they're not going to get paid in a lot of sales rules because a lot of them are 100% commission, or maybe they'll just get their little base. But it also helps you relax because think of it this way: if you only have 2 deals and they have to close this month, or you don't take a check home to mama, you're going to be stressed. But if you have 20 deals you're working and you know they're at various stages, and 3 to 5 of them are potentially going to close, that pressure is not as hard. And you're not coming across with what I would call commissions breath. You're not coming across going, David, I really need you to buy this right now. You can come across as, David, I'm the person that's helping you make an educated decision because my job is not to sell you. I know that sounds crazy, but it's not. My job is
Mhm.
to help you close the doors of doubt all the way down to get you to cost versus value. Is what I'm giving you worth the price that I'm charging? That's it.
And that reminds me of things I've read about sales is coming into it with I want you, I don't need you. I
Hmm.
want you to work with me, but I don't need you. So if you don't, what that's all right. And yeah, you have 5, you still only need to close 2. That's a different ball game.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
if you have 10, your probability of closing 2 is great. And if you have 20, law of averages, even if you're horrible, even if you're in the beginning, you don't know what you're doing, you're bumbling through. Like I told you that first presentation I did. So he goes, I love Home Depot. I'm buying anyway. You can do it through the flip chart. You don't need flip charts for gutters. I was so green. It was 20 years ago. He was going to buy anyway. So you get 20 that you're doing, you're going to get some of the what we call low hanging fruit, easy sales. But you have to be willing to ask. It's kind of like this. I use this analogy and I like it, and I deal with a lot of guys, so this will make sense. You have to ask the girl out to get to go on a date. If you don't ask the girl out to go on a date, you'll never know if she's going to say yes or no. And you might not get the best girl, but if you don't ask, you don't know what one you're going to get. You may get a 10, but if you never ask a 10, you're only asking twos or threes in your mind. That's what you're getting. Why? Because you didn't have the confidence to ask, to get uncomfortable, to just say, hey, can I help you?
Very good. What so how do you, when you meet somebody, figure out what they need? Or is that if or do you not come into somebody cold and you do some research for first? What how does that work?
Um, it depends. So if you're in an industry and you're dealing with certain groups, you know kind of what the problem is. So like I've worked in telecom and I've worked in like fiber internet and that type of thing for a long time. So I work with a lot of IT directors. There's three major things they have. So even if I didn't know exactly what the problem was, I could come in and be like, "Hey, Dave, my name is Joe Graham from company XYZ. You're an IT manager, and this is what I've run into with most of them. You guys deal with bandwidth issues, cyber threats, government regulations. Are those your three biggest needs right now, or is there something else that's pressing?" What I did was high level touch. I know he has to do with the government. I know that he has to deal with bandwidth needs because social media, everything's going there. And I know the certain things that he's looking to do. But if I was talking to like a CEO, CFO, I'm or CEO, I'm not going to come with into that because that's not their wheelhouse. I'm going to be like, hey, Dave, Joe Graham with XYZ company. I know as the CEO, it's your job to set the vision in place for the company. I believe my company could help you, but can you tell me what your vision is? I did read this about you. So I will know who I'm talking to so I have something to connect with them because people don't care about what you sell, what you do unless it helps them. You may think you're the best widget ever. They don't care unless it solves a problem and helps them.
Okay, so you'd recommend, depending on wherever you're going, study either that industry, that company, or that person if you can, to find out what, based
Or the
upon their
persona.
position, what they would like or need.
Yeah. Or the persona. So if you're in the B2B world, yes, you need to know who you're talking to because you have multiple different people you're trying to sell to. Now, if you're selling cable like I used to do door to door, it's simple. I'm just going to come say, hey, Dave, we have this really cool promotion in the area. I want to see if this would help you. Why? Because that is not a high level sale. That is an entry level. You're just going to offer it to as many people as possible. You may hit 100 doors in one day, but if you get two or three yeses, you're making money, you're happy. It depends on what you're doing. B2C is a little bit of a different game. Don't research. You already know what you're going to do. Find out the pain points you're having. You might come in and go, "Hey, a lot of your neighbors said they're having some issues with AT&T. I'm with Spectrum Enterprise, whatever." Or a lot of your people are with Spectrum. I'm with AT&T. We can help you. You can reference things, but it's not going to be as detailed as if I'm working with a 50 to $100 million company and they have a big project. I would be dumb to come and go, I'm an IT guy. I'm with this company and I want to sell you internet. They don't care. But if I came and said, hey, I know you have a big project coming up in East Rutherford. Do you have your IT stuff set up for that? Because you may not know this, but I work for T-Mobile and they can do internet, firewalls, voice over IP, access points, a lot of different things, and I'm talking to them in their language and in their thing. So again, it depends on industry, what you're doing, and then it gets even more fun because if you're dealing with hospitals, they have different regulations. You want to talk about HIPAA and all that. If you're dealing with like telecom, or I'm sorry, with like aerospace, well, now you got government regulations that are different than the other ones. So again, it's really industry specific. If you're just trying to sell people and help them wake up to a life they love living, that's an easy one. David, what are your dreams? What do you want to do? Like 10 years from now, where do you want to be? What plans do you have in place to do it? So you're
Yep,
asking open ended questions. You're not asking direct questions where they say yes or no. Like I would never ask, David, do you want to own a podcast? That would make no sense to ask that question, yes or no. I don't want that. I want to give you a question that's going to open you up so that you will tell me more information.
very good. And I found that when I started a business on my own, I didn't know any of that. Yeah, and it was a great learning curve. And basically, I fell on my face because I didn't know what to do. And I tried to keep myself neutral, like I don't need this guy as a client. But in the back of my head, it's like, well, he could be a client, and I didn't know how to get out of that space. It was really hard to. How do I? it's based upon driving personalities and personal drivers. And it's like, my driver is not that where I just want to talk and have no reward. I want to talk and get something out of the conversation. And so like that lighthearted conversation is difficult for me. And I've had to learn to say, yeah, it's a nice day today. I could care less. I don't want to talk about the day. I want to talk about business. I want to talk about you. And so it's just hard to get over that hurdle.
Well, it's learning your persona. Who are you talking to? If you're talking to the CEO, they're atypical, they're drivers, they may just want to talk about business. If you're
Sure.
talking to like an IT guy, he's more details. You're going to have to get into that more and more. Then you may be talking to a sales guy that's more relationship wise. He's going to want to talk about baseball and all this stuff and build the relationship. There's different personas. You just have to figure out who you're talking to, where they're at, and then what region of the US are you in. If you're in New York, you can talk fast and go business straight right from the go because they're happy about it. You try that in Texas, they're going to kick you off the front porch. And I just shifted the whole gear right there. You region, who you're talking with.
Yep.
The other thing I want to throw out here, this is huge. Men like to be told, women like to be asked. So if I'm talking to a
Mm.
man, I'm going to say, hey, David, we can do this for you. If I'm talking to a woman, like, hey, Mary, would this work for you? Why is that? Because women are used to being asked out. Women are used to being asked if something worked for them. When I was in sports, the coach never asked me what I thought. He said, Joe, go do this here. You're
Go
going
do
to
it.
go set a pick. You're going to go do this. It's just how our psychology works. Now, are there going to be the one offs
Exceptions.
from men and
Oh
female?
yeah.
Yes, but just read the room. If they come, if it's a female, she's the CEO, and she comes in with like very masculine energy and wants you to be direct, be direct. But again, that's a rule of thumb. 90% of the time, that's correct.
That is a very good tactic there. So very good. So how can my audience find out more about you if they want to work with you or get connected with you, learn more about you?
Sure. The easiest way, if you want to just get some information on me, I host the Joseph Graham Show. There's over 213 episodes. Some are solo episodes where I talk about sales and connection and networking with people. A lot of them I bring awesome people like you on, David. We just talk and how they built their lives, how they overcome their struggles, that type of stuff. All my socials are pretty easy. It's Joe Graham, REAL, because on like Instagram and all there was some dude that had Joe Graham, so I had to put something else. So I just put Joe Graham Real on the end. Um, and then Facebook, it's the Joseph Graham Show, and then LinkedIn is Joseph Graham because I could get that one. LinkedIn will let there be more than one Joseph Graham, but yeah, and it's me. I don't have a
Okay.
VA. I will say this: I'm very selective. So don't get offended if I say it. You're not the right person. It's not being personal. I just only have a limited amount of time. So I could be the right person, but if I'm not, I'll refer you to someone that is.
Very good. You've said a lot of great things today. What one thing would you like my listeners to take away from this meeting and take action on?
Sure. Be you. What do you really want out of life? Because at the end of the day, sales is just an aspect of business, just like marketing, just like accounting, just like all of that. That's not who you are. What do you really want out of life? Once you figure that out, maybe sales is the right way to go. Maybe owning your own business is the right way to go. Maybe working for corporate America and doing something like that is the right way to go. Find peace in that whatever works for you is what it is. There's no rules on this. There's no rules to being like to success. Whatever it is you want to do, who you want to be, and what you want to achieve is key. And don't let anyone tell you you have to do it this way or you're one funnel away. You can do what you want and be successful, whatever level that is.
Very good. Excellent advice. Well, thank you very much for your time, your encouragement today. And friends, that's all we have for tonight. I trust you've been inspired by today's talk to redeem your business, redeem your time, buy back your life, and use it for God's glory. And remember that time has limits. You can't do everything, so choose wisely.